Hi, welcome to the live video. This is the NH Fitness Lifestyle channel, and if you haven't been here before, be sure to subscribe for all my content using that subscribe button below. As usual, I'll be talking about subjects around habits, intake and movement, and this one is a live fitness Q&A. And I have a set of questions which I've actually pre-put down on here, so I'm going to display these on the screen. And if you are watching this live, be sure to leave a comment and leave a question, and I'll make sure I get round to answering them right at the end of this actual live Q&A. And like I said, all these questions have been from Instagram, so there seems to be the one platform where I had a lot of response, and I may not be able to get through all of them, but I'll do the best I can to answer each of your questions, because each one's really important. And of course, this is the beginning of the year, so this is the time to really get your motivation or your discipline to get them goals, especially in this particular one. What we're talking about is in relation to fitness. So let me start from the top. So I'm going to start from question one. I said I've got them all in nice little order. So start with question one, and this is from Jack, and that is, what method do you use to calculate your daily protein quota? Well, Jack, to be honest with you, one of the ways what I find is really easy to do is if you go onto your Fitness Pal and you track your food, what I'd say is a really good protocol is to try to get around about 30% of your protein as a macronutrient split. That's a good standpoint for when you're tracking your macros in terms of your calories throughout the week. That is, I'd say, is like a staple thing to do, to keep that 30%. And obviously, if you're not unsure of if you've never used the MyFitnessPal, then this is what it looks like. So that's like the icon for it. But most people kind of know how to use that. But have a good go with that one and see how that goes. Now, as a calculation, because I know some people like to calculate with working out their protein, what you can do is a standpoint of 1.2 grams of protein to 1 pound of body weight. And you can go up to, I said there's lots of guidelines to this, but you can actually go up to roughly around about 2 grams of protein to 1 pound of body weight if you're bulking, okay? So that's just a good little standpoint for that. But like I said, I would strongly recommend going off your macros with the Fitness Pal. So obviously that's a really good way to do it. And also it will give you, because it tends to be when you are doing the macros, the hardest one to hit is keeping the protein higher than the other elements. So try with that one. Let me know in the comments if that's been successful for you. So that's question number one. So we're going to question number two, and this is from Leon. And what is your current macro split? So me personally, during the lockdown, I've continued really from the last one, which I designed a program where it was a lower body day, upper body day, then lower body day, then upper body day. So I've got, for building muscle, maintaining the muscle at least, I use that protocol. And last time I used resistant bands only, just due to the fact when I done the original one, lockdown that is, in April, I got adjustable dumbbells, but then when I went back to the gym, I found it was demotivating going back to using adjustable dumbbells in the house. So I actually found it more challenging using the resistant bands. So on this particular lockdown, because in the UK right now, we've just went into lockdown number 3. So on this one, what I'm going to do is do a combination of the resistant bands and the dumbbells. So obviously this is, I'm actually going to be up on the screen. This is one from, but yeah, so I hope that answered your question, Leon. And obviously, if you want to comment what you're doing right now, and maybe I can leave a comment off that as well, that'd be good. Yeah, so next one is from Jake. And this is, what is your best advice for handling doubt when experiencing training in plateau? Okay, so that's quite a broad one. So I think the good thing to do is, first off, what sort of program have you had? Is it a structured program what you've done originally? And off that, did you get the result from the program you did? Because if the answer is yes, then if you do have them doubts in your mind when you're starting to plateau, you know you've done it before. Now, what you may have to do is obviously maybe switch up the program, like change it. So, for example, before you done a whole body approach, this time switch it up to having maybe a split program. Maybe last time you done a bit too much cardio. For example, there's people who run every day, and then obviously when they're going to doing weights, they may not be getting the results. So maybe they need to track how much cardio they're doing in comparison to last time. And it depends on how you are with the plateau. Is it more that you're finding yourself putting on weight, or is it more that you're losing muscle? Because that's obviously a combo of the two. So let's just clarify. So if you're having doubt, then look back at what got you the results in the first place. And if you got the results the first time and you're not doing that anymore, then go back to it, because obviously you should get that result again. If you are keeping with the same plan as what you did last time, then this time switch it up, change the routine, and maybe have a look at either whether you're going for more building muscle or whether you're going more for leaning up, and obviously switching out that way. And that should control them doubts, because you know you're doing the right thing, and that will keep you on the straight and narrow. Quite a broad subject, but thanks for that, Jake. I hope that answered the question to a point. And of course, if you watch this back, if you're watching this live, leave a comment, and obviously maybe we can have a chat after. By the way, you are listening to this, then remember there is a link underneath this video where you can get a free consultation where I can have a chat with you personally, and there's a questionnaire what you need to fill out. So check that one out at the bottom of this at the end, okay? Right, now, next one is from Stephen, and this is best times of day for intermittent fasting. Okay, so it seems to be a lot of people who I've put through doing the intermittent fasting, because I do think this is good for people, personally, who are out and about a lot. And they tend to be the type who don't tend to eat breakfast or not consistent with breakfast. So I think a good time of the day personally, if you are a busy adult out and about working a lot of hours, I think a good time would be a 12 until 8. If of course you're following an 8-hour fasted to fed state, okay? So obviously the 12 to 8 would be your fed state, and obviously the 8 at night until 12 would be your fasted state. So I'd say that tends to be the time what most people like, but most importantly, it's how it fits in with your routine, Stephen. So I hope that answers your question with that one. And obviously, again, if anyone's done intermittent fasting, you've had good sort of response to that, leave a comment, let me know with that one, because some people it really does suit. Me personally, I've tried it, and I'm better with having 3 meals at minimum in a day, and obviously sometimes having 1 or 2 snacks, as opposed to doing intermittent fasting. But there's lots of benefits to it. If you look into the research of it, it's brilliant. Great, so next one. Now on to number 5, which is a place where I'd have breakfast normally, which is Sim's Kitchen. And that is, what is your favourite breakfast? What tends to be my favourite breakfast? It's an interesting one. Now when I go to Sim's Kitchen, I have the smoked salmon, avocado and poached egg with the sourdough toast. That is a really nice breakfast. Highly recommend that one. Other ones would be having more of a, I feel like I'm cheating, but I'm not. But that would be like what I call an English breakfast, but a healthy version. So I'd have the vegan sausages, and I'd have egg white scrambled egg, or more egg whites. I'd have 1 whole egg, 3 or 4 whites, baked beans, mushrooms, and I'd have, well, actually recently I've been putting waffles in, the potato waffles, like one of them, and putting the baked beans on there, and that's really nice. So obviously I'd say them two are probably my favourite breakfast to have in the morning. I do like my cooked breakfast, or having it heated in the morning. If I want more of a cold breakfast approach, I do like the overnight oats. So if you haven't checked that one out, you can check the video out, which I'll leave somewhere on the screen, about on the last first lockdown. That is, I've done 8 breakfast choices. So I'll leave a link to that so you can watch that, because that might be intriguing to get some fresh ideas. Cool, thanks for that, Sim's Kitchen. And the next one is by Mark, is how do you lower body fat percentage? Again, the The fundamental way of doing it is by controlling your calories. That your calorie intake is less than your calorie outtake. Yeah, that's ultimately going to make you lose weight overall. Now, to help the body composition, which I've already mentioned, is obviously controlling the macros, making sure it's a clean approach. Obviously, that some people operate differently. Now, you're gonna have to go off how you feel. So, number one is the calorie deficit. That's key. The other thing is what macros suit you. Now, for me, like I said, I think always a good standpoint is a high protein, minimum 30%. And then what changes with the other percentage, which would be the other 70, is whether you feel that you've got more energy having higher carbs or more energy if you have higher fats. Now, for me, my body, if you like, likes a higher carb, lower fat. So obviously I'd go off around about 20% fat, and then obviously the rest I'd be with carbs. So it's one of the things, go off a default first of going off the 30% protein, the 20% fat, and obviously the rest of it carbs as a start point, or either it's 25% fat and the rest of it carbs. See how you feel, and if you feel like you don't feel as good, as energetic that way, switch the carbs and fat the other way. That's a good way of starting, and then you can go off there. So I hope that answers that question mark. Okay, so next one is by Sarah. How do you keep myself motivated? Now I combined this with Kevin's, which is how do you keep motivated while working from home. Both of these work from home, so it's an interesting one with staying motivated. I think number one is you're going to have a routine in place. All right, if you've got a routine in place, you're not fighting against motivation. It's about being disciplined with keeping your routine. And number two is getting the right advice of knowing what you need to eat and obviously the type of workout you need to have. And number three is making sure that you do something move-based every day. So whether that is walking around the block, whether that's doing your workout of the day, making sure you keep yourself moving. And them things will keep your motivation up. Again, if you've got a Fitbit, I tend to find that keeps you motivated with getting you off your seat, because it will beep at you when you've been sitting around too long. Good little standpoint is to try and get around about 10,000 steps in a day. Now, a good little thing to do as a bit of accountability is, if you can imagine, it will be 70,000 steps you need to do in a week. If you're not making them up on a day-to-day basis, then you make it up as an overall. So let's just say, for example, Monday today, just say you're really busy in the office and you barely walk around the block, so you've only managed to get 5,000 in. Then you know you're on a 5,000 deficit for the rest of the week, so you can try to catch that up on another day. Worst case, on your days off, you have a big, massive walk to make up them steps. Now, if someone wants to train with me and they want to focus on losing weight, I would say like doing HIIT training or a whole body approach is normally a good way to go, and doing that at least 4 times a week with cardio, and combining with cardio and obviously the other days active lifestyle. If you can maintain them, not only that maintain your motivation, but it should keep you fit and healthy throughout obviously working from home. So I hope that answered both your questions. There you go, so I'll put them both as number 7. So now we're on number 8, which is by James, which is how can I sustain weight loss in lockdown? So I think I've just kind of answered all of them with this, but again, it's about obviously making sure you keep that discipline, keep motivated, keep exercising, be on point with your diet as best you can, structuring. I like to use, in fact, something called the entertainment food is the polite way of putting it through daytime YouTube. But that is like, you got, what is your 20%, which is for your emotional needs and something you enjoy, and the other 80% is going to be what you need to structure in. So if you can at least structure out your breakfast, lunch, dinner throughout the week, that's going to be a really good way of maintaining that weight loss. And of course, like I mentioned with the macros, if you can keep minimum 30% protein, that tends to fill you up a hell of a lot more. It sort of satisfies you. I'd say refer to when I listen to books, satiety, I think they say as the other saying for it. So it satisfies you longer with that. So I hope that answers your question, James. Obviously, it's quite a broad spectrum, but like I said, if you can get your 4 sort of specific workouts in the week, and you make sure you're active, getting your 10,000 steps, maintaining them calories, your entertainment food. These are just some of the things which can help you sustain that weight loss. So brilliant. Next one is from John, which is going to be my last one actually, and that is, what are your New Year's resolution goals? I've done quite a lot of goals here, because I always set them at the beginning of the year. The difference is this time is, to be honest with you, normally I always updating my long-term plan and then condensing it down to small. But over this last year, things have changed, and what I've done is I've only set for the year. But I can say one of my goals, what I want to achieve on YouTube, is I want to keep maintaining, coming on here once a week and showing up and delivering content to you to try to help you. So of course, on this live video, please mention anything you'd like me to cover on this sort of live channel or on this YouTube channel, and I'd love to cover whatever subjects you want me to do. And the other thing what I've set is that I've set as a goal of wanting to achieve 3,000 subscribers by the end of 2021. I'm up to 1,500, so I've made that realistic, and I'll be really happy if I could achieve that. So these are just a few of the goals based on this channel right now. There's loads of other stuff. There's ones, personal goals for myself, there's financial goals what I've set, there's relationship goals, there's sort of goals of obviously making me feel happier. You know, there's so many goals what I've set, which might need a video on its own, but I hope that answers that question. But I think the key is, while you're on here, that it's important that you set your goals. So you haven't done that yet, be sure to set your goals. And again, you can briefly, you'll always share them on me. You can actually share it and comment on here if you want. So there you go. They're all the ones which I wanted to get through, and I wanted to try to get through them within 20 minutes, and I've kind of succeeded on that. But like I said, if you are watching this on replay, answer it and answer a question, and I'll do my best to answer. Even if it's not live on here right now, obviously I'll leave it on the comments, or hey, you can obviously click on the free consultation form and fill out that form, and I'd love to have a chat with you any ways possible I can help you. And if you haven't already subscribed and hit that bell button or give us a like, please do so. And I'm going to leave you with the outro, and it'd be great. Hope you come back really soon. See you later.